Okay, so you found the house. You maybe looked at dozens, you spent tons of hours with the realtor, and you finally decided on this one. So what's next? I'm Gary Daggett with Daggett Property Inspections, and I want to talk to you about what a home inspection is, why it's important, and why you need them. So for most people, purchasing a house is the largest thing that they're going to buy in their life. And you're getting ready to spend maybe decades in this property. So it's very important that you understand the true condition of the home and any maintenance things that you may be getting into, and to make sure that your investment is protected and you're buying a good house. When it comes to making a real estate purchase, it's very important to have a good team around you. People that you know you can trust and they're going to do good work for you to help you in the process. I want to talk to you a little bit about a home inspection and why it's so important to have a good home inspector. First, typically how it works is when you get a contract and it's signed from the seller and you get it back, you then have 5 days in the state of Illinois. It varies from state to state, but in Illinois it's 5 days to go through what's called the attorney review process. And what that means is you can get the inspection on the property done, and you also have to get the report back. You have to review the report, talk with your attorney, and put a list of requests that you're going to give the seller for things that you may want to have done to the home, items that are fixed, you may want to credit or a repair. So you have 5 days to do it. It's actually kind of a tight window, and it's very important to make sure that you're very thorough in this process, because a home inspection is one of two ways, at least in the state of Illinois, that you can walk away from a house and not lose your earnest money. The other one would be in your appraisal. But the home inspection, if something comes up and you decide that you don't feel good about the house as a result of something, then you're able to walk away. But the other thing you're able to do is if there are things with the house that need to be repaired, you now have the knowledge going into it, and your real estate attorney and your agent can negotiate the best price for you for that house. So let's say maybe the inspector finds it needs a new roof. That can be anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 on average for a new roof. You really want to know that going into it so that you can negotiate that out in the price of the home. So you may be thinking, but I've got an Uncle Joe, or I have an Uncle Bob, and they've been a contractor for 30 years, and they can come in and they can look at the house and tell me everything I need to know about it. Well, that may be true, and they may be very good, and they may catch everything that an inspector is going to catch. The difference is, if you have a licensed home inspector filling out a report for you, that's what you can take to your attorney and make requests. So it's not a bad idea to have Uncle Joe take a look at the property too, but that licensed inspector is what's going to give you the ability to negotiate in the real estate process. So you might be thinking, yeah, but how much is this going to cost me? Well, prices vary, and it's usually based on square footage. Typically it starts between $300 and $375 for something around 2,000 square foot or less, and goes up from there. Normally it's not going to be much more than $650, and that'd be for a large house over 3,500 square foot or so. So in the big scheme of things, you're buying a $150,000 house. It's a small fee. Plus, anything that the inspector finds that they can save you is going to be key, like a water heater. Let's say the water heater is bad, the inspector finds it, that could be $1,200 right there. That's more than going to pay for your inspection fee. So, in my opinion, an inspection is always worth the money. Even if the inspector comes through and finds that the house is great and there's no issues at all, which is very doubtful, but even if he did, then at least you would have the peace of mind knowing that. So how do you find a good inspector? Well, if you're not going to use me, here's a couple things you can do. The best way, in my opinion, to go about it is do it by a referral. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask your colleagues, who have you used? Did you have a good experience with them? Were they thorough? Did they give you a report that was easy to understand and clear? How well did they work with the real estate agent? Were they available for questions later? These are the types of things that you want to talk to people about, experiences that they've had. That's, in my opinion, the best way to go about it. If not, ask your real estate agent. Most agents, they really want their people to have the best inspector possible because they want to protect them because their name's on the line. So talk to your realtor. They'll usually have a couple good people for you as well. So if your realtor doesn't have a couple names for you, you can always go online and do some research there. One of the first places I would check when you get a list of people that you would like to use is go to the state agency that regulates it. In Illinois, it's the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. You can go to their website and see if the inspector that you're planning on using has ever had anything that was brought up against them, any accusations, any discipline that the state has given them. Make sure their license is valid and up to date. Okay, so you've got a couple of names and you're ready to narrow it down to the inspector you want to use. What are some things you can ask him? Well, one thing you can ask him is, how long have you been in business? How many inspections have you performed? This is a good indication of what kind of knowledge base they're going to be able to carry into your inspection. If they're newer, what kind of training did they get? All the inspectors that I hire, they go through an apprenticeship program where they do 25 inspections with me before I turn them loose. So maybe they don't have all that experience, but if they've had the right training, that's a pretty good sign. Another question you want to ask is, are you insured? It's important for an inspector to be insured, and it also is a pretty good indication if they're not, that they may not have a very good quality service because they may not have the ability to carry the insurance, which does have a cost that goes along with it. So another thing to be careful of is to watch for inspectors who are using a gimmick. An inspector who offers free home warranties with all of their inspections, or someone who offers a free homeowner's hand guide. Those may be great tools and it could be helpful and you could get some protection from a warranty, but to me it's much more important is what's the quality of the inspection that you're going to be getting. That's the most important part. So watch for that. Be careful if it seems like they're highlighting all this important stuff but they're not really highlighting the service and their track record. That might be something to watch for. Yep, toilet's working. So what should be included in an inspection? Well, it's a strong toilet. What should be included in an inspection is every major component. A good inspector is going to come in and they're going to check the roof, the exterior, they're going to check the grading and the grounds around it, they're going to check the foundation in the basement, any crawl space areas, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, every door and window that's accessible, every outlet and light switch that's accessible, and your appliances, as well as the fit and finish of everything that's in the house. They're going to get in the attic space, they're going to check the insulation levels, they're going to make sure that there's no mold anywhere if it's visible. Now you've heard me say a couple times accessible. That's an important thing to note, is we do have some limitations on what we can do because we can't take off covers, we can't take off permanent fixtures that are a part of the house. We can't break open up walls, we can't take up carpet. Those are our limitations. It has to be readily accessible and controls have to be normal operating controls. But the inspection can be very thorough. And we're what you would think of as a generalist. Kind of like when you go to your doctor, you go to your general practitioner. If they find something, they send you on to a specialist who can better help you get an idea of what something may take. That's our role with the house. We come in, we find things that maybe you need a specialist, maybe we can give you the information on it, but then you can take that item and get the information that you need. All right, so home inspection's all done. And guess what? The inspector found some things. So what do you do with that? Well, it's my assertion that what you need to do is get the proper education on those items so you can move forward with the proper decision. You know, one of the ways to do that is talk to your agent and talk to your attorney to find out, hey, what do we do with these items? Are these things that we should ask for? Are these things that we should ask for a credit on? Let them repair them? Or are some of these things that are normal that we just need to let go and take care of once we get moved in? You know, another way to handle that is to get some information from contractors to find out what it's going to cost to get a water heater replaced. What's it going to cost to get downspouts moved away from the house? You know, my experience is in the entire time that I've been doing this, I've had 2 houses that are condemnable. That's it. Everything else is repairable. You just have to make sure that the numbers work and that you're confident moving forward. And that's really what the home inspection is to accomplish, to help you get that information to make an informed decision and an education on the property so that you can move forward and be confident in what you're buying. So, obviously, I'm a home inspector and I think that home inspections are important. But you know, I built my business because I truly believe that people need to be protected and advocated for in this aspect of the purchasing process. So I hope this video has helped you with what the process looks like, with some information that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to choose an inspector. If you ever have any questions about the process, home inspections themselves, feel free to put a comment in the below, or you can always reach out to us at inspectordaggett.com and we'll answer any questions we can for you. Happy house hunting.